focus of Operation Dudula supporters is all on Ndlandlalak's Dlamini this morning. He's expected to appear in court following his arrest just last week. Our reporter Nqobile Madlala is outside court where scores of Operation Dudula supporters are expected to show support for their leader. Nqobile, good morning to you. And what's the very latest you have for us in terms of Ndlandlalak's arrest and court appearance, rather?
Good morning, Dumela. From where we are standing, from the moment that we drove in, we could already calculate or count over 15 vans, and that just tells you how much police presence is here. Now, we already know that the two areas are cordoned off. On my left, it's where the supporters are meant to be, but on my right, it's where the EFF supporters are going to be. Of course, they're separated. This is to ensure that there is no clash. But just to give you an idea in terms of what sort of argument we are supposed to be expecting, I'm going to bring in Ike Khumalo, who is Ndlandlalak's lawyer. Ike, what are you going to be arguing today? Are you going for bail?
No, we're going for bail because we believe that, this is Schedule 1. There's nothing extraordinary about this case, though it has been politicized. We believe that he should be, granted bail, because he should have been released at the police station. The investigating officer here is a colonel, so he's somewhat with power enough to could have released him. And we've been struggling, from Friday, trying to get a prosecutor on standby, about 9 to 10 prosecutors, all of them washing their hands off this case because they say powers, above them, compel them, to stay away or not to release Ndlandlalak on bail. So, of which is disappointing. It has been tough, because we try to communicate with people, they're closing their phones. Even on Saturday, when bail was denied, we spoke with the prosecutor on standby and the investigating officer, and then they sent us a mere WhatsApp saying that bail denied. They never communicated after that. We couldn't phone them. Their phones were closed. So it has been the story of our lives. But we hope that today, we'll advance that he should be released, and probably maybe withdraw these charges because these are nonsensical charges to be, if I were to explain them mildly.
And of course, this is the first appearance, and first appearance is never really that easy. Are you sure that you're going to get bail today?
You know what? We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to fight for him, to get bail. And we hope that, the presiding officer will hear the side of our story because, as I said, we've been frustrated. We know that the state might want to, postpone for further investigation, but, that's none of our business because we are not to blame. They could have done everything that they should have done, and they've verified the address. They've probably have checked that he's got a criminal record or not, pending cases. All that could be done, in a matter of hours, and taking into account that they've elevated this case, to this level that it is. So therefore, agency existed on their part to make sure that when you come here, we're ready to go. Even yesterday, we were trying to call them so that we find out where are we, got no joy, people were not answering their phones because we wanted to know, so that if there are stumbling blocks, we deal with them, or we dealt with them yesterday. So, but we hope that, it will be all system go and, Lux will be released on bail. He's been in the cells and he's been complaining about the stomach cramps, and we are worried about his safety. We are worried about his life because there's always that thing that, his life, or he might be poisoned,
And you did speak about this yesterday, saying that you're worried about his safety. What can you do at this point to help him? And what have you spoken? Have you spoken to the state or anything?
No, not yet. Because you see, the problem is that we tried to organize his doctor on Saturday, but we were told that they will refer him to a public hospital, and therefore that could also compromise him further. And we didn't want a situation where we go for an application, try to compel him to go to a private doctor, because it would have tampered with today's date, and we realized that, he's fit enough, to stand trial today, because I saw him yesterday. He said, no, he's good to go, But if, we would have referred him, to a private doctor, he could have taken time for him. Maybe he would not be available today. So we want him, to proceed with the matter as soon as possible, because the longer he's in the system, the riskier it becomes.
And of course, you've spoken to some of the supporters in the family. How are they doing? What can we expect today?
Obviously, the family, the mother is quite anxious. The mother is looking forward to Nqobile, be released. So the family members, they're also strained. They're stressed. They're worried because they're also. I think they've received that information that he might be poisoned. So they are also worried about his life. And also, I think on weekend there were rumors. I could not confirm them that the people. Said that, or some members of a political party who were ready to go and burn his house in Pimville. So we are worried about that as well,
Thank you. Kumalo there, Nqobile, just giving us an update in terms of what's happening. But I want to show you, this is some of the members arriving. They're quite unhappy with being cordoned off or having to be separated and not being able to go to court. They've just had a little conversation with the police and they look visibly unhappy, and they've just asked why are they being kept outside. And the lady's just saying now that they are going to push this and they are going to make their way inside. So we are yet to find out what will happen with time, and of course the numbers as the numbers carry on and more people come in. But quite anxious there, don't want to be behind. But we'll speak to them a little bit later on.
All right, Nqobile Madlala, this is where we'll leave, of course, our time with you out at the Roodepoort Magistrates Court this morning. We understand Nqobile will be, of course, making that appearance, and his lawyer there, Kumalo, was speaking to us this morning about what they will be, of course, presenting in court.